Hello everyone and welcome to Odoo Live. This is Ken, the marketing officer here at Odoo Hong Kong, and I will be your host for today's webinar. Joining me today, we have Nicholas, the business advisor here at Odoo, to discuss how to manage a service company with Odoo. And throughout the presentation, we will be answering your question in the YouTube chat box. Nicholas will help me to get to them at the end of the section during our Q&A. And if you would like to view this webinar again, you can simply access the link and watch it anytime you want once the live event has finished. And thanks again for all your participation. And let's get started with our webinar. And Nicholas, all yours.
Yeah, thanks Ken. Thanks for the introduction. So my name is Nicholas. I'm a business advisor at Odoo in Hong Kong. So in my job, what I do is I help small and medium-sized companies or even big companies to evaluate Odoo, help them in the definition of the needs, and also help them in the setup as well. So I do demos on a weekly basis, and I basically use the system every day. So we're going to do a webinar today, which was going to focus on the service company. So how to manage a service company in Odoo. So first, we're going to do a quick presentation of Odoo, the company. We'll go through an example of a customer that uses Odoo on a daily basis. Then define in 3 points the objective of the webinar, and then we will finish with some Q&A, as Ken already stated. So what is Odoo? Maybe some people join this kind of webinar for the first time, so it's good to do a recap. So Odoo is an all-in-one management software with full integration between all the different apps. It's really user-friendly, beautiful to use, and even more fun. So we've added some features which make it very fun to use. So we cover a lot of different apps for most of the department in any company, whether it's sales, operation, which we're gonna focus on today, manufacturing, e-commerce, HR, and so on. So we have more than 40 different apps, and it can cover almost anything in the company. We have different offices around the globe. So we were founded in Belgium. We have offices in Belgium and Luxembourg for the European, Africa, and Middle East markets. 2 offices in the US to manage America and Latin America, and 1 in India for services, for also developments, and the latest office will open in Hong Kong. So we manage sales and also services for the online version. So Odoo is nowadays supported in 32 languages, which is pretty impressive. We have more than 3 million users that represent 1,000 installs per day, and the growth has been really awesome during the past 4 years. Keep in mind that we don't do like mass communication, we don't do like TV advertisements. So it's really amazing to have this kind of coverage with just limited communication. An example of client who use Odoo. So the core business of core customers of Odoo has always been small and medium-sized company. It's still the case. So we have small company, very small company with 1 to 2 employees, a company with 20 to 50, but we have more and more corporations who trust Odoo in the management of their activities. So to give you an example, so Shell, Hyundai, Danone are using in different of their subsidiary. Here in APAC, because most of you are probably watching from Asia Pacific, Food Panda, for example, and also small and medium-sized company in different industries. So manufacturing a lot in Hong Kong, China, services, accounting, medical, so almost any activity. So you can watch our website for a lot of more references. And more than 3 million users are using Odoo worldwide. We just released the Odoo 11 last October with new features. So the topic of the day is how to manage a service company in Odoo. So it's just a different activity that a lot of companies nowadays are doing. So Odoo can manage that the same way they can manage a production company, a trading company. So we have different apps for that. So today we're going to see three different challenges. The first one would be how can I sell my company services online? So that would be an opportunity to show you the Odoo e-commerce, website e-commerce. And I will do an example with a subscription, so a recurring product. So I will show you the subscription module as well. Then the second part would be like more traditional sales. So how can I streamline my sales and operation process? How can I connect my sales team to my operation team through the sales module and through the project and timesheet? And the third one is how can I optimize my billing process? So I will show you three different ways you can bill your customers. So using the timesheet and invoicing system. All right. So let's go back to the demo right now. So I have this demo on the database, which is online, so cloud, with the latest version of Odoo. Today we're going to focus on those module, website, e-commerce, which is inbuilt in a website, subscription. Then we'll move to CRM, sales, project, and timesheet as well. So Odoo is all about integration. You can see I have different apps which are also on my database. So right now in this database I can sell product online, product that I manufacture with the manufacturing app here. I can manage my employees with the HR, so you have the employees here. You have purchases as well, so everything is connected. So I'm going to start with the website. So I'm going to use a business case, a company doing web design and hosting those services. So the first thing I want to do is to start by selling hosting package. So I'm going to do that and sell that online as a recurring subscription. So we'll use the website and connect it to the subscription. So let's go to the website. So the first thing you have in the website is the back office, where you can see information about your sales. You can see the visits, the sales orders, the orders which are in abandoned carts. You have access to your catalog as well. So I'm going to show you a product that I've created, actually 3 products, which are hosting packages. So we have the budget one, the pro, and the business. So I'm going to show you how I can create a recurring product, which I'm going to bill my customer on a monthly, yearly basis if you want. So this is very simple. You create your products, you set a price, you put the product type, which is a service, and then you have the possibility to connect it to a subscription template. So for those who are familiar with Odoo 10, they probably remember it was a bit complicated to do a subscription product. So we simplified that, and now all you have to do is to create a subscription template, and this will be connected to the subscription module. So my template, if I click here, I call it the budget package. The recurrence is every month, and it's closable by the customer, and also it's an automatic payment, so the customer is billed on a monthly basis by credit card. So that's all I need to do to have a subscription product. So that's for the product I've created. And now if I want to look at how my website looks with my products, I can just go to the front view. So I click on go to my website. So first you create all your products. You can manage that in back office and then see how it looks on your website. So I've created a website for a company that I called 1+1 Design. So I have a page, so you use the drag and drop feature with the block builder here. So you can add images, you can add text, so you can design your website the way you want. And I've created a block with my hosting offers here. And those products are actually a real e-commerce product in my system. So I have one which is the budget, which costs me $35 a month. So if the customer want to order, you can just click here and order now, and it will be linked to the e-commerce. So you can design this page the way you want. I just put a simple picture. You can set it here and use the building blocks. So I'm going to show you now how it looks for a customer that visit your website. So I'm going to go on another page here, so you can see your website. You can see I'm going to sign up first because I'm going to create a new customer from scratch. So okay, I'm going to create open a new page instead. It's going to be better. Start from scratch. So I visit my website. Customer is interested to purchase a hosting package. So let's say, for example, the budget. You can click on order now, add the product to the cart, go to checkout, and then you have the possibility to put the information for like a one shot, or you can also register. So you can, I don't have an account, so I'm going to create a new account. So I'm going to put my email. Okay, so it's going to be Brian, for example. Let's set a password. And we're good with the accounts. So now I'll receive an email and with the credential, and now the information field. So I can put a street number, main street. So all of this information will be saved for the subscription. So let's call it Rome, Italy, for example. And don't forget the phone number. I can validate and go through the billing address, it's the same, and go through the payments. So we can manage, handle different payment methods. We have different credit card providers. So here I can use it. If I use the credit card, the system will validate everything automatically. So that the contract will be created, the invoice will be created and pushed to the accounting system. In my case, I'm not using a real account, so I cannot use the credit card. I'm just showing you how it looks. You have the credit cards. You will click here, you will be redirected to the payment gateway, or you also have the possibility to have the customer fill the credit card information directly on Odoo without leaving the page. So that's a new feature. So I cannot do that now. I'm just going to use the wire transfer option just to validate the order. It's going to create an order in the system. It's not going to be validated, so I would have to do it manually. But if you use the credit card platform, everything will be automated. So I want to validate the transaction. I click here, and the information, the order will be sent to the Odoo back office, to the users. So it's validated now, and then the system is validated. As an existing customer, I can see the information in my account as well. So I can see I have one quotation because it hasn't been validated, so it's still a quotation at this stage, and I can see the information. I will show you later. I can see the invoices, I can see the contract as well. So we'll go back there. So as the person in charge of the e-commerce in Odoo, or in charge of sales as well, I can see the sales in the website here. So remember we were there just here. So I now have an information about an unpaid order. So it's the one I just created. Again, if you use the whole process of payment online, everything will be automated, so it won't be an unpaid order. I can see that the customer is Brian, so I will just validate the quotation, turn it into a sales order. And as you can see here, it creates another a job, which is a subscription. So the subscription is actually your recurring billing. So it's been created once the sales order has been validated. So now I'm going to do everything manually, create the invoice just to go through the whole process, validate my invoice, and that's it. So now the order is actually, so it's still here because it's not, no, sorry, it's here. The order is validated, so the customer received the confirmation, and a contract has been created. So if I click here, I have a contract for a subscription, so the budget hosting package, 1 unit. So the customer will be billed $35 on a monthly basis. So you see that the next date of invoice is the 17th of February. So monthly basis is only an example. Of course, you can set different recurring period. So you have this information here, and you also have it in the subscription module here. So if I go in the subscription, I will see the same contract under Brian, which is $35, which is in progress. I can also manage all my other subscriptions. So now I have 2 offers for other customer. I can see the same information about the customer, the next day an invoice. And if you've been using the credit card gateway, the system will automatically bill the customer with the payment token which was saved. So this is an option, you can use it. If you don't want to do the automatic billing, then it's fine. You can send the invoice manually to the customer for payment. So that's basically for recurring product that you can sell directly on your website. If I want to see the same thing on the customer section here, as you remember, I can see now I have a subscription, a sales order, an invoice, and the customer can see his subscription, which is in progress. He can change payment method if he wants, so change the credit cards, and he can close his account if he wants. So also it's an option you can enable or disable. So you can close his accounts, and then it will close automatically the subscription in the subscription module. So really all automated. You don't have to do anything manual if you use the payment option. So that's for the payment online. Of course, not all companies want to sell their product online, and they don't all do like subscription products. So it works also on the sales module. So it doesn't have to be e-commerce. So you can use the subscription anywhere. So now let's say I sell another product, which is a web design package, web design services. So it's not something I sell online. I have a sales team that manage that. So I've created a page here that shows the services that I have. So I create websites. I have different packages. One is a starter package and one is a pro package. Customer can request a quote. So if they click here, they will be redirected to the contact form. So they can send information and put, for example, their name. So I just put my name, my email, the company. So Teva Corp, for example. The subject, so I'm gonna have to design a website, so I need the company 1+1 app. Need to revamp our existing website. So the customer send a request, and this request will be sent to the Odoo CRM. So I'm going to show you now how you can sell a service using the normal way that a lot of companies will use is by creating quotation and sending a quotation to the customer for approval. So we're going to use the CRM. So this is going to be sent to the CRM, and then we're going to be able to create a quote from there. So if I click on send here, I'm just going to add that. So the information is sent to 1+1, and if I now go to my CRM, so I see different opportunities. I need to remove the filter because the lead hasn't been assigned to me, especially if it has been sent to the company. So I can see my new opportunity, which has been created here, so the website for Teva. So I can see the email, I can see the message from the customer, and I can basically see also contact information, customer name and contact name. So what I can do is send an email to the customer, or if the customer provided a phone number, contact him. I have my opportunity here, so I have different action I can do. I can create meetings if I want to, so it's connected to the Odoo calendar. You can schedule some activity, so if I want to schedule a call, for example, an email with this customer, I can schedule one here. So I'm going to do a call tomorrow, for example. I can scale it. And there's a new feature that we have now. It's the activity management system. So it's a new feature in Odoo 11. So it creates an activity here. It shows it on your CRM dashboard. So if I go back here, I can see in green here I have an activity. So if I click here on it, I can see, okay, I have a call plan for tomorrow. So it's basically give you an overview of all the opportunity, all the activities you have to do within those opportunities. So there's different color code. Green is for future activity, orange is for today's activity, as you can see here, and red is for past activity, so overdue. So I can manage my pipeline. Okay, I need to qualify this call, so I can drag and drop, put it in the qualified stage. I can see that I have a counter that sets the estimated turnover I'm supposed to make, so I can play with that. I can see here I have 3,000 for this opportunity. If I move it there, the counter is automatically upgraded, so it's a new cool feature that we've added. I also have the activity list of everything I have to do, which is available in this button. So it's a really cool new feature that we have in Odoo 11. So I can see the activities, but it's also connected to other modules as well. So I can see the purchase order if I'm in charge of a purchase order, and I have to do an activity. I have to validate a purchase order. I can also see that here. It will work for project. It will work for product that you need to finish the creation, etc. So let's go back to my opportunity. So the website design for Terra. I've done my call, I've qualified the leads. Now I need to send a proposition, a quote to my customer. So I'll just create a quote here. So the customer information, I have to set it. So I'll just put it back here. So I'll create a new customer here. So I will call it, what's his name again, Brian, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that's the one. Oh yeah, that's the one who's already here. All right, so I'm going to send a quote with one product, which is the design package. So it's a package I've created with 25 hours. And what I'm going to do is then basically have the operation team just deduct all the hours they spend on this pack. So I've created a product, which is the website design. And as you can see here, I created a new unit of measure, which is a starter pack, which basically is 25 hours. So I've used a reference, which is the unit of measure hour. And I've said that my starter pack is 25 times bigger than the reference, which is the hour. So whenever I create an hour and I deduct an hour, I will see basically the percentage of the pack that is done in the project management. So what I want to do, it's the first thing that I did for this product as well, the second thing I did with this product, is that for the invoicing, I want to connect it to a project in the project module. So I've used the feature that we have here, which is invoice my customer based on order quantity, and then do the tracking on a task in the project. So I have different options. I can not create a task at all. I can create a task in an existing project, create a task in a new project, or create a new project but no task. So in my first example, I'm gonna invoice my customer first, and then track all the time spent in an existing project to make sure that I don't exceed the 25 hours that I sold to the customer. So that's how I did the configuration. I'm gonna save this and send it by email to my customer. So send the quotation for approval. So we have the quotation templates, so you can use the PDF, and we also have the email, the web templates. So I can send the quotation to my customer. So we have the email integration Odoo. The email is saved here, so I can see the history. As the customer, I can go in my email here and see the quotation automatically received here. So I can see how it looks, or I can also have it in my customer portal. So if I go there in my customer portal, the quotation is actually here, right here. So the starter package for 25 hours is available here. So I can accept it directly from my email or even automatically from my customer portal. So I can draw my signature. Here I don't have the payment feature, but you can also have the same payment gateway for the e-commerce than for the online code. So I'll just sign and accept the order. And the order is now accepted, and it's now also confirmed in Odoo. And automatically, you see, it's really instant. I just did that like 5 seconds ago. The signature is already here, and the order will be confirmed. So I have to refresh actually, and the order will be confirmed here. So the sales order is confirmed. I saw the pack. So what the system has done is creating now a task in a project. So the project is basically the part which would be dealt with by the operation team. So for example, I have a developer or a designer is gonna be receiving a notification in a project. So I can see there's a new task which has been created. I can rename it if I want to. You see the name of the customer here. Customer is Brian. I can set a deadline. It needs to be finished by the end of February if I want to. And I can assign it to someone. So I will assign it to Matt, for example. And I can save this. So as a salesperson, I can send information to the operation team, and they will receive that in the project module. So now let's move to the operation parts. So the operation will have access to the project. If they go in project, they see different, and the one that I want to use right now is the web design here. So if I click here, you will see I have a new task, which is the web design starter package. I can click there, I see the same information is for Brian, and it's been assigned to Matt. So Matt can basically work on this project. So you can use the drag and drop feature with the Kanban view the same way that in the CRM. So I can use it and say, okay, now I'm going to start the kickoff. You can edit and put some information, write some information about the customer, and you can then log the timesheets. So I can say, okay, today I did a kickoff call of 1 hour or 2 hours. And those 2 hours will be deducted from the back. So I can see here, the progress bar tells me that I've done 8% of the project. And I can just go and so on until I run out of the hours. I also have access to the sales order if I want to. So it's one thing that I forgot to do, which I just remember. I need to invoice. So the first aim of the system of this was to basically invoice all the hours first, and then do the operation. So I forgot to invoice. I just remember. So I'll just create my invoice. I'm going to invoice everything. So I invoice all my pack, and then I can basically start on the operation part. So it's now invoiced, and I can see in my sales order the advance. So it's basically use the ratio. So I've used 8% of the pack. And as a salesperson, I can see the task as well, and I can see the timesheet which have been done. A customer as well can see the timesheet. I will show you later. So the second option will be I'm not selling a package, but I'm selling some hours of development. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take. So I actually want to invoice my customer based on the delivered hours. So for that, I've created another product, two other products actually. So if I go to sales, I have another product, two other products, which are development service and design service. So instead of selling a pack with hours, I'm going to sell the unit at a unit basis. So for example, the design service, I'm selling it per hour. It can be per day if you want to. So I set a price here. It's a service as well. And the difference with my pack is the invoicing system here. So instead of invoicing based on the ordered quantity, I'm going to invoice based on timesheet. So I'm going to invoice what was actually logged by the operation team. So not less than that or not more than that. And what I did is, instead of creating a task in an existing project like I did before, I'm going to create a task and I'm going to use one project for this customer only. And then I'll be able to create different tasks. So one task for design service, for example, and another task for another product that I've created, which is the development service here. So this one I sell it $300 per hour, and I use the same thing, so timesheet on task, and create a task in a new project. So I'm going to create a new sales order now, or new quotation. You can create a sales order, a new quotation for the same customer. So Brian. So the development service first. So let's say I estimated with the customer it's going to take more or less 5 hours. But again, I'm not sure it's going to take 5 hours. It's maybe going to take more. So I want to invoice the actual name. So the development service and the design service. So maybe 10 hours of design service. So I'll just save this. I can send the quotation to my customer as well, or just confirm the sale automatically. So what the system has done is to create two different tasks that I can assign to two different persons. So I can assign the design service to Matt, and I can assign the the development service to NPO, for example, which is myself. These can be done on the sales part, but of course you might have like a operation manager. So the operation manager can do the assignation in the project manager as well. So I'm going to put NPO here, just put a deadline, for example, there, and so on. All right. So now that I've done that, this time I'm not going to invoice yet. I'm going to invoice after the work has been done. So if I go to projects, it has created a new project here, which is called SO024, and it's the customer Brian, and there's two tasks in it. So first, maybe I want to rename the task. So I don't remember, I think I called that Teva. There was a Teva company. So Teva project. And there you can actually share the project and the task with the customer. So it will create a tab in the customer portal where you can see the quotation, but for the task and the project. So the customer will be able to see what has been done by the project manager, the hours which have been logged, and also exchange emails on the task-related emails. So you have to select that the privacy as visible by following customer. You can also set some customer ratings if you want between different stages. And I'm going to save this. So if I go back now to my projects, I can see my task, two different tasks. So design service and development service. I can add different stages, kickoff, progress, validation, and done. So you can create email templates and assign it to different stage. So if you want, for example, to send automatically an email to a customer between the progress and validation stage or validation and done stage, you can do that here. So you edit the stage and you can create an email template, use an existing one, and then every time you move an activity, a task from one stage to another, with a template, it will send it automatically. So I can drag and drop, etc. So now my team can start working on the project. So I can log the timesheets. So I see the same information than earlier. The initial planned hour is 5 hours. So let's do that. Let's log, for example, 2 hours. So I can see 2 hours has been done. I can see it's 40% in progress. Then that's for NPO. And the other task is for, Matt. So Matt can log the task for the design service. Let's also call that kickoff. And let's put 2 hours. All right. So this is set internally, and it's also set to the customer. So if I go on the customer portal here, I'm now able to see the project, so the Teva project, and the task inside the project. So I can see the design service and the development service, and I can see what has been logged by the operation person in the company. If I want to, I can send an email to my contact, my account manager. Hi, let's do the first stage tomorrow. I can send it to, this time it's Matt. So Matt will receive a notification, an email on the stage itself. So if I go now on the design service, I will be able to see the email here. So Matt can reply to Brian and so on. You can exchange documents. If you exchange a document, they will all be saved on the project section here. You might have seen here, so I can see all the documents. I can also see here, normally there's an email, so Matt is logging on the project. He will be able to see there's unread emails in this section. So here it should say, there should be a logo, here it exists. I don't know why it wasn't displayed. So you can see basically that you have a new email. Okay. So now let's say how it looks on the sales order. So on the sales order, I can see that I sold 5 hours, 2 have been delivered for the development service, and 2 have been delivered for the design service. So I can either invoice now. In that case, I'm only going to invoice 2 hours for now. Or I can just wait. What I'm going to show you now is I'm going to log additional hours and exceed what I've first sold to the customer. So let's go back to the task and, for example, log additional timesheets. So I'll just put, for example, 4 hours. So it's more than what I have left. So the system will tell me, okay, I've done 120%, so I can just save this. As an operation person, it's not my problem. The sales part is not my problem, so I just log what I did. And same thing for the design company. So I just put this time 9 hours. So now if I go back to my sales order, I can see that I've delivered 6 hours for the development service and 11 hours for the design service. So it's the end of the project. All the tasks can be done to the way it was before. I'll go back to the sales order. And I'm now going to invoice the customer. One thing I want to show you first also is a new feature that we have is the project overview and profitability. So it's a new feature we have in V11. I can actually see the hours that have been logged, so timesheet here. I can see the profitability, so what has been invoiced, what needs to be invoiced, and the cost. So the cost basically is the cost of labor of my account manager, so Matt and NPO. So these can be set on the employee section. So it's actually here. You go and look for Matt here, and you can set the timesheet cost per hour, so 80 hours. So whenever Matt log an hour, it actually log $80 on the project overview board here. And for NPO, it's actually $90 per hour. So that's actually where I can see what I just saw, the project overview here. So the cost of the labor, and I need to invoice $4,000 here. So it shows the timesheet here. The fix is basically when you don't invoice based on timesheet, but you invoice based on what you sold. For example, the pack that I sold earlier. The no task found is if you log a timesheet, but there's no task related to it, and non-billable is for other stuff. And you can also see the time per people. You can see if there's no task cancelled, you can filter here, and you have access to all the timesheets here as well. So now I want to invoice my customer. I can just click here, create and view invoices, and you will see that the system invoiced 6 hours and 11 hours. So I can just validate and I'm done. So that's how you can invoice, a second way to invoice your customer. The third way would be to use the function that we call milestone. So I'm just going to show you how you can do it. I'm not going to show you how it works. It's basically a mix of other two. So in a product, you can select a third way, which is the invoicing here, the milestones. So there you can set manually the quantities that you need to invoice on the order. So you don't only want to invoice the ordered quantity, but you don't necessarily want to invoice the delivered quantity as well. So you want to manually set what you want to order, to invoice, sorry. And you can decide to order one product first and another later. So it's a mix of both. All right. So that's basically, I think, all I wanted to show you in terms of timesheets and invoicing. We do have some reporting here for sales, but I'm going to show you the reporting for the project. Oh yeah, one thing is important to show you is that the timesheet has its own app itself, and it's mobile friendly, so with an app on Android and also on iOS that allow you to log your timesheet where on the move. So you can use this thing on your phone. It's really convenient. Log the timesheet here. Select the project, so the Tevat project. I'm the NPO, so I work on the development, so the design I remember. So you can log the timesheet here, like 3 more hours, save it, and the information is pushed to the project here. So if I go to the Tevat project, I'll be able to see, so you have a very bad memory, so I think it's the other one. Yeah, here I can see that NPO logged a new timesheet just now. So I log the timesheet from the timesheet app, and it's sent to the project and the task in the system. So that's a really cool feature. It also works offline on the app. So even if you don't have internet, you can load the timesheet and then it will synchronize when you get internet. So it's really cool and really user friendly. So I was talking about the report later. So as the head of the operation report, you can see the reporting, you can see analysis on your task, etc. So you can see here, for example, the number of tasks. You can see the remaining hour for each task. So you can use the graph view and different graph view. You can use also the table view with the actual numbers. So you can play with the filters. You can basically do a lot of reporting. Export all of this to Excel if you want as well. So very powerful tool to manage your services. You can invoice in different ways, and it covers different channel, as I said, e-commerce or just direct sales through a team of salesperson that I'll show you in the CRM sales. So I hope you enjoyed the demo. If you have more questions, I'll be happy to. No, we're gonna take some questions first. Yeah, that's true. But if you have a different workflow, then maybe we can discuss later privately. So I will share my contact details. So we can take some questions.
Okay, now it's time for question. Just feel free to leave your question in the YouTube chat, and Nicholas will help me to get them. And now we can take 2 to 3 minutes to wait for your question, and at the same time we can let Nicholas to take a rest first, because he has done a precise, clear, and also really great demonstration with regards to today's topic, and I believe all of you will be satisfied and also will find this helpful. So just leave your question now, and Nicholas can answer them in a comprehensive way.
Just sharing with you, if you don't have time to ask your question now, but you would like to have a private demo, or you have like some specific question about your business, you can either send me an email to this address, npo@odoo.com, or we have this link which will be on the YouTube page as well, where you can book a demo on a specific time slot. So you can use that as well, and I can call you back by Skype or by another meeting.
Okay, we got a question. It's a really simple one, which is, do we have production module in Odoo?
Yes, we do have production module, but it's not really the topic of the day. But it's called manufacturing. So you can basically manage production, set up your bill of material. So we have MRP, MRP2 with the forecasting, and we also have add-on module which allow you to manage quality checkpoints, manage the maintenance of your machines. So we do have manufacturing, and it's also connected to the sales module, to the inventory, so you can track your inventory of material and finished product.
Okay, great. And we've also got another practical question, and which is, what happens if a customer wants to cancel service and initiate a refund? Okay.
In that case, you can use the credit note feature in Odoo. Basically, in the sales module here, I had a pack. Well, I think a lot of things already invoiced, but you can actually use the credit note function. So I think here, go to invoice. So I can create a credit note and cancel the system, and cancel the subscription. And the subscription would be, if it's a subscription, it would be canceled in the subscription, so it would be closed. Or if it's just a contract like this, it will basically, you will have to cancel the order manually, and it will cancel everything.
Okay. Another question, we've got another question with regards to our modules, which is whether the modules shown in this webinar are part of the standard package, or if they're custom or third party.
No, everything is standard. I didn't do any customization at all, so everything was standard. So the e-commerce part, the connection between the sales and the project, for example, is a standard feature in Odoo. You have to use the function that I show on the product section here. You use this feature in the invoicing, and you invoice based on timesheets, and that's how it's connected. It connects the sales to the product. So there's no customization at all.
Okay.
Or no third party.
Okay. And the final question is more or less related to the production module that you introduced to all of you. And the question is, when we input raw materials, it will automatically record it into GL. Maybe what's the meaning of GL? We have to define it first.
Yes.
May you please define the GL in a more complete way so that Nicholas can answer it. Okay, and for the question raised by George, because I'm just typing to answer it, and for your question...
General ledger.
Okay.
Yes, it will record it.
And for the question raised by George, I think you can send the question to Nicholas through email because it's a more complicated one, and I think a schedule or a face-to-face demonstration may be better to get it through of the way, so that just schedule demo with Nicholas by clicking the link, and I've included in the description box, and you can also check it in the video because Nicholas has shown it to all of you.
Yeah, so we can do one-on-one demo if you want later. If what you saw doesn't really 100% match your workflow, I'd be happy to do a specific demo for you.
Okay, and thank you, Nicholas, for today's presentation. And don't forget to click like if you found this video helpful, as well as subscribe to our channel for access to more video. And as always, if you would like to raise down more further questions, you can send them to me by typing kcn@odoo.com, and also Nicholas' email, and he's included in his presentation. And if you got here late, you can just rewatch this webinar anytime you want by revisiting the URL of this video. And last but not least, thanks again for all